Hi guys, welcome to the Bluestone Villa. I hope you're all doing okay. If you're in the UK like me, I know you'll be in second lockdown, so yeah, sending lots of love. Today's video is a renovation diary, which we've not had in quite some time. The last one I uploaded was back in August. Today's video is going to be covering off kind of from that mid-August point that we left you at, right up until about, I think, the end of September. And then next week's video, I'm actually going to do a bit more of a kind of renovation update. So I'll give you a bit of a mini renovation tour, show you all of the progress that we've made over the last kind of 4 to 6 weeks, basically that will bring us up to like today in November. Perhaps some sneak peeks of some projects that I'm even surprised we're going to be taking on before Christmas. And I'm also going to be sharing some mood boards with you of the spaces that we've been working on. But anyway, so that's next week's video. So if you're not already subscribed and you do want to stick around and follow our journey, then I'd love for you to kind of hit the subscribe button. But today's video, I'm starting a new project. So I've been working, or James and I have been working on our bedroom basically for the entire of 2020. And it's still going. But I also started on a new project basically right after we wrapped on the last renovation diary, which, if you've seen the title, which you will have done, is a staircase renovation. So we've got 3 floors in this house. I should say, worked on the first set of stairs when we moved in last year. So I have taken the lessons learned and applied that to our second set of stairs and our middle landing and our top floor landing. And I've also learned a whole other set of lessons because, yes, it's called How Not to Restore a Victorian Staircase for a reason. And I won't spoil the surprise, but many mistakes were made, many stresses were had, and many tears were shed.
It's white already.
Are they actually? No, they're the same as before, stair runner. Working on the world's most tedious job, which is basically pulling all of the staples and any kind of nails out of the stairs and the floor. They all are from putting the carpet in. But yeah, we've done most of that. Good morning. Got a bit of a DIY experiment going on at the Bluestone Villa this morning. So we need to prep the stairs for painting. So we've already done that with one set of stairs. So I'm going to take you on the journey on doing it with this set because I am probably going to make a few changes to what we did. So we've discovered that we can use the Rust-Oleum chalk floor paint that we were using for downstairs just straight onto the wood. We didn't need to prime it. I can't remember why I thought we did. I don't know whether maybe somebody told us to or whether we just came to that conclusion, but we can use it without priming. So I'm not going to prime it. And additionally, I started sanding yesterday, but I am worried that it is lead paint on the side of the stairs. I'm almost certain it is. It looks really old. And whilst I did that with the last set, I actually I knew it was bad, but I kind of did a little bit of reading up yesterday after I did a little bit of it yesterday, and now I'm like, wow, it's really bad, and I don't want to die. So pray for me. I shouldn't die, but it's not good. It is quite toxic, so I am trying to use something else. So just so you can see, this section here is what I was sanding yesterday, and it took me 2 hours to sand that. So you can see the tone in the middle is quite different from, say, over here, but essentially it's not wildly different. And this is like how thick the paint would have been at the sides. So a fair bit has come off, but still not enough. Now, we didn't take it all off down there either, so I don't really need to take it all off, but you want it in a good state, and at the moment there's like lots of chips and stuff like that, and it took 2 hours to do that. Anyways, I'm doing a bit of an experiment. So I bought this Peel Away 7 to do the cornice downstairs, and I basically have a ton left over from last year. Now you're meant to use these, you're meant to use these like plastic blankets to go over it, which I might still have some left, but I'm just not sure where. And you're also meant to put it on with a spatula. I can't find the spatula, but I am using the peel away scraper that you'll use to take it off. And James thought cling film might work, so I'm just testing this out. Now, this could go wrong in many ways, because first of all, if it is lead paint, I'm not sure Peel Away 7 is going to do it, because I'm pretty sure Peel Away 7 works on most modern paints, and Peel Away 1 is the one that you would need for lead paint. So it might not work because of that. It also might not work because I'm using cling film. Whilst I'm up here, I'm going to quickly also show you my cornice. Not my cornice, ceiling roses, because we do have our guy coming to collect them later. Hallelujah. So let's see if I can just lift this up. He left these here with me just to give me a bit of a sense of size, but I actually really like this one, the design and the size for our living room, because we've got some kind of a mix of like that kind of older, Victorian features, and then also some really kind of like more kind of modern or mid-century modern furniture, etc. So I think this would look really cool, and then with perhaps like quite a contemporary light. So I actually really like this one. And then, tripped over something. Then this really simple one and this size one I'm going to have down in the hallway. And then I want the same design as this, but perhaps this size, or perhaps the middle size there for this bedroom. I gave up on sanding for danger purposes and also just the sheer length that it took to do, and instead I've used Peel Away. It's not all off, as you can see, but this is definitely the best section of it. As you move up to the actual staircase, it's not come off as much. I can't tell you why. It could be a combination of factors. It could be that maybe I didn't put it enough on, or as much as I did on the other section. I did only have 2 smallish tubs. Or it could be that I've just got lazy and demotivated as I've gone on, because I have been kind of taking this off for quite a while today. But this is how it works. So you get your Peel Away. Now it comes, I think, with a scraper, which I have over there, and also these things called blankets. They're like plastic sheets that you basically put on top of the Peel Away after you've put it all on, basically. Now, I was using stuff that we bought like I've got makeup everywhere. I was using stuff that we bought actually a year ago for a different project, and I didn't know where the blankets were or if we had any left. So James said, just use cling film. And I wasn't sure it was going to work, but the test patch yesterday I did. Sorry, I don't know where I got to. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode and it's just buzzing. I put some on a tester patch on Tuesday and in the morning, and by like 4 o'clock it had come off so easily. It was great. So yesterday morning I put stuff on the rest of the stairs. You'll probably never have enough blankets unless you're doing like a really small section. So you can buy additional blankets, but honestly, cling film worked for us and it's probably cheaper than the extra blankets. So you put it on, you have a spatula to put it on, I think, as well. Again, didn't know where that was. So I just used a So I just used a paintbrush. Let me get it. Quite a thick paintbrush, and I used this, and I used the peel away scraper as well to basically get it out of the tub, and then I would dip this onto the scraper to get up the stuff and then paint it on. And I think you need about 6mm thick, but there are obviously full instructions. I didn't quite finish because I ran out of stuff, so I have actually just ordered a 4kg tub today, which cost me about £60 from Amazon. This is way more than we did with the first set of stairs, FYI. We sanded the first set of stairs. We definitely did not get all of the paint off, but I'll show you what it's like to take some off. You can definitely tell that like the top layer or two is a more modern paint as well, I reckon, because that really comes off like butter. It's the undercoat that seems to be like the most challenging. But the bit down there on the landing, I've done a fab job on. Then after it's all clean and dry, I'm then going to go in with the sander, which should hopefully take a little bit more of the last residue off, or most of it anyway, and also will just be a lot smoother and everything. But I mean, this is way easier than what I did last time. Just FYI, way easier. These are some of the ones that I haven't done. So that's just what it looks like. So you can kind of see there's like dampish patches here. And sometimes when you lift it up, you can actually see it. Like sometimes it does peel away with it. I don't think it's not quite done it with that, but I'm just gonna scrape it off. Now it comes with a scraper, but actually James bought me this. Yeah, it does come with a scraper, which is like almost like a filler tool in a way, which I found really easy to take off the bit that I did the tester bit. But actually, I found that this is way better than that today. Now, this is a tool that James bought me. I will find out what it's called. Again, I think just from Amazon. And, I mean, you've got to be a bit careful with it because it's a bit sharp and there's different edges. You don't want to gouge out too much of the actual stairs. But look at that. That's how it was coming off on the tester patch, FYI. So most boyfriends buy their partners flowers. James has bought me this fancy little tool. Yeah, it's coming off. I'm just going to jump in right here to give you a bit of a lowdown on what happens next. Basically, I stopped filming partway through working on this and stripping the stairs for very good reasons. Firstly, it would have been very boring. Secondly, it was very stressful. Thirdly, I'm pretty sure James would have yelled at me if he'd known I was filming the very stressful situation. Basically, lessons learned here are don't put peel away on your spindles. Don't put peel away on your spindles. On the stairs themselves, the peel away, when you took it off, kind of turned to a bit of kind of glue consistency. And it was kind of like gluey blobs of paint that was like peeling off. It got stuck to my shoes. I ended up trading it onto the staircase, or the bit of the staircase that was already done. So I've had to repaint that staircase. I mean, that wasn't a huge job. It was a light sand and a couple of extra coats, but nonetheless annoying that I'm having to redo work that I've already done. So that was I was already kind of aware that it could be a bit like that, but it was like tenfold worse when we did the spindles. And I should not be saying this was totally me. And not only did it create a huge mess of this like sticky paint bits that just went everywhere. I swear I'm still finding it today and we're in November. But additionally, I also made the mistake of basically biting off more than I could chew. So I thought I was being really good at kind of breaking down the project. So I did the stairs first, and then once I did the stairs, I then moved on to the spindles and the posts. And I broke it down even further than that. So I did like a number of them on the first kind of bit of the staircase, and then a number on the next bit of the staircase, and then the last ones on the top floor landing. And what I should have done, and what I had anticipated doing, was put that on, then put the next lot on the next bunch, and then when I finished putting that on the next bunch, then scraping it off of the first bunch. And I basically didn't. By the time I got it on the next bunch, I was like, I'm bored of this now. I don't want to peel this off. And that's not really the attitude that any of us should be having. And basically it dried. It dried so solid in some places. So the paint was dry and the peel away was just rock solid as well. And, you will have seen from clips earlier how easy it was to take the paint off with the peel away on the stairs. So then imagine that not being possible at all. And the day that I actually was able to then start taking this off, as I said, most of it, if not all of it, was completely dry. And it was a Friday, and I'd got up at 6 a.m. to start peeling this off because I just needed to. It was a wreck everywhere, and I mean everywhere. And we had friends coming over the next day for a barbecue, and I didn't want to cancel. James was really annoyed because I was not moving anywhere fast, and it was impossible. And I was getting frustrated and demotivated and like flustered and upset, and I just couldn't see how I wasn't still going to be there next Friday. It was awful. And James ordered me something and popped out on his lunch break to go and pick this up from our local Wicks or something, and brought it back for me to try and help me get it off. And it basically got to the end of the workday on Friday, and James then came out and had to help me because it was a mess and it was still going on. So we had the angle grinder, and we were trying to take the paint and the peel away off the spindles with the angle grinder. Just so you're aware, our set of spindles for the bottom staircase is actually quite ornate, but the rest of it is just a plain square. So it wasn't detail on it. But yeah, James was just having to take that off with an angle grinder, which created even more havoc, more mess. It was really noisy. There was so much dust. It was a really tense day, and obviously not something I felt comfortable filming because it just wasn't really appropriate in that sense. And we hadn't even done the food shop for our friends, and we knew that at some point we were going to have to just stop doing what we were doing and attempt to clear up. And we did an okay job of getting most of it done. There was just the top spindles on the very top landing that we hadn't tackled yet, which is fine because nobody would be going up there. And yeah, we had a hell of a cleanup job to do after that. And we literally didn't go to Sainsbury's that evening until 9:30 at night to do the food shop for our friends coming around the next day. That is definitely how not to restore a Victorian staircase. I would say that I would advocate for peel away as being a good product, but I would never ever put it on spindles again. And I would recommend that you don't either.
not been very good at filming, I have to say, over the last few weeks, because it's been a bit stressful, if I'm honest. So I didn't film yesterday either, but yeah, basically James cut through this ceiling, so this probably has never been cut through before. We're going to create a loft hatch to have just a little bit of storage space up there, but also it could be quite handy if we need to get up there, if we want to put different lights in this ceiling, for example, and stuff. It would be good for an electrician to be able to get up there. And one day we hope to put our water tanks up here as well, but who knows. But yeah, so you can see right up to the roof. So that's like our chimney breast there. And yeah, there's not a lot of space up there. There's less space than we thought there would be, but this was like, I've never seen so much mess. James looked like an extra from Mary Poppins. This is the carpet that we have picked out. We haven't ordered it yet, but this is what it looks like. It's like a really soft, creamy grey, I would say. It's not really grey. It's like an off-white, probably. And it's a material that kind of replicates silk. And yeah, we just think that will work really nicely in here. So next step is to get them to come over and measure. I've been sanding the stairs and you'll be able to see that there is a differentiation there. So it hasn't got all of the paint off, the stripper or the sanding, but it's smooth enough to touch that basically I can paint straight on top. So the plan today is to do a couple of hours of sanding up the stairs to the top landing, and then tomorrow I'm going to do the spindles. So these were really problematic. Can't really remember whether I've said that in a previous video, because I've not actually taken a lot of footage of this month, like last month, because it's just been hell on earth. But yeah, these are problematic, so these are a bit rough, so definitely need to kind of get some sanding magic on that. Just using probably like just sandpaper on its own for these, but on these I've been using my sander machine that I put in my last video. I'll link that below so you know which one, but it's just a Bosch cheap electric sander that came recommended. It's just like a cloud of dust. Good morning, campers. So sadly, in the process of working on the other stairs, my finished stairs were just ruined. This is how not to restore a Victorian staircase, guys. It doesn't look so bad here, but basically the peel away that we were using, I'm not sure I said this before, but if I have, apologies, but basically the peel away that we were using just went everywhere, and when we were taking it off, it became just such a gluey consistency that you just couldn't get it off the stairs. These are definitely like the worst culprits. So our stairs, our lovely white stairs, have just looked really dirty and like we don't clean them, which is not true. There's also some dust residue now as well because there's just dust everywhere. So I'm on the home stretch on the sanding front, supposedly. So what I'm going to do is sand these as well. So I'm just going to do a slightly lighter grit on these, just on the treads, not on the, I think they're called upstands or something, I can't remember, but anyway, just on the treads because that's where it needs it, and particularly like in this location, this needs to be sorted. And then I'm going to repaint these, which is highly annoying, but you live and you learn. James told me to put stuff down, and perhaps I should have done, but even when I did, it just got in places that we couldn't cover. So yeah, it just wasn't possible. Our whole house suddenly looks like a dishevelled mess again. I look like a dishevelled mess. and just every room that is done just looks like a complete state. There's just stuff in all of them and there's dust everywhere. It needs a good clean, but I am determined to get this sanding done and move on to painting. Yeah, I really want to move on to painting because I just want it to be done now. It's been one of those demotivating exercises where I went in gung-ho and was like really excited. And it's the prep again, isn't it? It's just always longer and more annoying than you anticipate, and just, yeah, not great. And I'm just kind of ready to say goodbye to the stairs. A bit like James is getting a bit bored with the room upstairs. So yeah, so I don't know what I filmed or how much I filmed of things, so apologies if it's all a bit piecemeal this month. It's just would be a little bit boring to film every day, and I have literally worked on it practically every single day. I actually need to give you a little bit of an update on the master bedroom as well. I literally don't know what I filmed the last few weeks, so it's going to be a surprise as much for you as it will be for me as well. As much as a surprise for me as it will be for you. Yeah, anyway. So, I'm trying to open my elbows for a cup of tea, but... So, my hair was really dusty then, I haven't even done anything yet. So, last renovation diary, we finally finished all of the annoying itty-bitty prep work, and I finished painting the whole room, including the windows. It was looking really smart. We cleaned it up. It was brilliant. That was around like August 8th or 9th, I think. So I'm going to flip you around now and show you the progress we've made since then. Ta-da! We've made no progress. We've done absolutely nothing else, and I'm just trying to find the right angle, and we've actually created more havoc in here again. So basically I moved onto the stairs, as you all know, so I've really been focused on that, and everything that needs to happen in here now relies on us ordering things and getting certain people in to do certain jobs as well, which is now going to happen. So we had a radiator here which we took out. God, I don't know how many times I said that on these diary videos. I do need to give this a bit of a quick lick of paint probably today, again, just because when I was painting it before, we had all the windows covered in like brown paper, if you recall, whilst I was painting the windows as well. And even with our nifty little builder's light thing, it just didn't really show up that I needed to do some more. Also, you have to love the positioning of the ironing board in here. This is like the only spare room that we have the space to leave this up. James hates having it up all the time, but I'm just not a fan of taking it down because we're one of those people that irons things every time we use something, and getting it out and putting it away every day is really annoying. So I definitely need a utility room eventually one day. We have our cast iron radiator. So when I left you last, we were going to get a Victorian style column radiator and just save the cast irons for downstairs. But we talked and we thought about it for a really long time, and we love the cast iron so much, so we just went ahead and ordered another one for up here, and we are actually going to carry the cast irons throughout. We've gone with black again, and I think we possibly will go with black everywhere. I just think it will go with everything. I like the whites as well, but I just feel like this goes with everything, and I quite like kind of industrial style interiors, and I feel like the black has a bit of an industrial vibe to it as well. Do you think it needs it? I think
it's the bottom half of it anyway.
I don't think it looks.
You can cover this with some like some cling film or something.
Yeah.
You can just paint this top bit.
I think it looks okay. Right, so I painted these stairs. These are the newly sanded ones, just with one coat the other day. And actually that was under James's recommendation. I thought we would need to fill any holes, like deep holes, first, but he actually recommended that I paint it white first, because then that actually clearly shows where all the deep holes are. So filled bits like along here, there was a big gap. I mean, it's not perfect. Over here, there was, you know, a fair few holes and stuff. So kind of any really deep holes, I filled it just with this Ronsil multi-purpose wood filler in white. It takes 2 hours to dry. It's actually dry now because I did this earlier today, and I'm going to be able to sand that. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to finish, or try and finish painting our nice set that got ruined the other day by doing this work. So I'm actually going to paint these first, with the view that tomorrow I can sand all of this off and continue painting up here. I meant to show this to you the other day. I don't know how old this will be. I'm assuming probably not Victorian era, but I took off several coats of paint on all of this. And underneath it, there was like this darker, I don't know whether that's like a varnish or a stain. But when I was doing my last sanding last week, it actually obviously took off a lot of that. Kind of took off a lot of that, and then also several layers of like the pine as well. And it revealed all these numbers, which I guess has something to do with the stairs being fitted. So I don't know how old that would be, but I thought that was pretty cool. We've not found many exciting historic things in this house, other than obviously like the actual features that are clear in this house. Like, we've not found any letters under the floorboards or anything like that. So I quite enjoyed discovering this. James thought it was mental because I just kept on going on about it. I also, and I didn't share this soon enough, but there also, you might be able to see here actually slightly through the paint, but like there was marks also to mark out where the stair runner should go. And then also, which is what is making me think it's definitely not kind of Victorian era, is there seems to be markings here, which seems to indicate where the spindles will go on this piece of wood. Now, the reason therefore that I'm saying I don't think it's obviously Victorian era is because for some unbeknownst reason, our spindles on the first set of stairs are entirely different to the spindles on the second set of stairs. Now, some might say that the more ornate spindles are the original Victorian ones, but these had like the paint stripped from them, and it just looked too new, the pine. And in addition, these are really old-fashioned, and actually a joiner that we know that came round to quote for something said that nowadays you wouldn't be able to have these ones in a house. They're too thin. They're actually, I don't know if dangerous is the word, but like they would be considered, like from a building regs perspective, they wouldn't do those ones now. So we think these are actually the originals. But yeah, we couldn't figure out whether they're both originals perhaps. And actually, you know, like the Victorians really liked to have the lower half of, like whatever part of their house was being seen by guests to be more ornate. And then anything above that wasn't like a really big deal. So yeah, that was our other way of thinking. But I don't think any of my neighbours, I'm sure I've asked one or two of my neighbours, and I don't think they've said that they have two different sets of spindles. And I just think it's a bit odd. I don't think the Victorians would have done that. I feel like that's too, like it looks, I feel like they are like attention to detail, and like that would just look stupid to them. But who knows? If you know, let me know. I need to wrap this up. And I've moved on from where I left you last. So they need a bit of a hoover, but we've got 4 coats of the Rust-Oleum paint on the stairs, and now also on both landings. But I think it needs a 5th coat just to give it kind of full, complete, best coverage. But we have done things back to front. Usually you would do kind of walls and ceilings, before you would do floors, but we've done stairs and floors first. So just in case we get any splatters from painting the walls, etc., I'm going to leave the final coat for the very end, but just so you can see at least how it's turning out. It looks really different, it looks really great. Imagine we'll have, you know, a nice rug up here and also the same on the top floor as well. But yeah, now I'm going to move on to painting the spindles, which actually look like they're really rough because there's still paint on it, but it's actually not bad at all. It's kind of pretty smooth, to be fair. I mean, it's not perfect, but once you've got a few coats of paint on it, it should be okay.